The Pistons have been missing a type of coach that expects so much. And I know a lot of Pistons fans like to bring up the '04 years, but that was so long ago. And that culture that Chauncey and Ben and Tayshaun and Rip created, to me, I thought it died a long time ago. And a lot of us were just kind of holding on to it because that's the last great basketball we actually got to witness.
I feel
To me,
attacked.
me too. JB Bickerstaff has basically given it CPR and it's back to life because he's embodying what those teams, the bad boy Pistons, the '04 Pistons, and just kind of putting his twist on, a new age type of Pistons basketball. Like he goes on the Chris Vernon show saying, you know what, we're going into a game and we're trying to kick your ass. Like that's the type of coach that Pistons fans need. Like you need a shit talker. Like I watch every Pistons game on FanDuel. Like you can literally hear JB calling a coach out. He's like, man, that's bullshit. Now you blow your whistle. Like that's what Detroit needs.
Oh
Detroit
yeah.
needs a coach that is going to get up there. I think he led the NBA in technical fouls for coaches. Like that's how many texts he got last year. Like I love him as a coach because I know he's going to not only fight for our players, the fans are, they love him. And I think what he brought in 1 year, I think a lot of people just casually have bought in. Like I haven't seen LCA that packed like ever, even including Red Wings game. Like LCA was packed.
Man, bro, my heart. Bro, I got goosebumps. Like Eric Vincent and I, cool. We were like up there in media, and I was like, 3-4 year journey, really putting it in professionally. I've been in media before, so I understand how to handle myself. Nah, not that night. Sitting here watching a playoff game in LCA. That matters, something meaningful. It was different, man. That experience was crazy. Pistons fans are ready, and it was dope to be able to see them get that opportunity. And I hope that they get to see a home win soon. I hope this season provides that first Pistons home win in the playoffs in a very long time. And I do believe they're set up for that. They definitely are. You talk about having that sting now. People wonder what this team is going to be. They just got punched in the mouth. They got punched in the gut. They did. They did. And you got to think about it, man. It hurts more when you lose your big brother. It hurts more when you lose your protector. When Isaiah Stewart went out in that first game, and then you got pieced up from a physicality standpoint after being the aggressor the whole season, you got to think about what that does to you. And so for me, these guys have gone in every offseason and gotten better. And not just every offseason. Every one of these young dudes are coming back from crazy stuff, bro. People make such a big deal about Cade, and rightfully so. Like, hey, here's your bionic leg. We hope it stays in one piece. Hey, that's okay, bro. I'm on a ascent to superstardom. My man, freaking Asar Thompson had blood clot, bro. Had to miss the first 25 games of the season. This is not like, hey, get better in off season. He didn't really have an opportunity, and he still went out there and looked like an alien. We see what happened with Jaden Ivey, and I'm bullish on what he's going to be, man. Even Jalen Duren and dealing with the issues with his ankles. You see what I'm saying? And these guys are still finding ways to go out there and get better. So as they find their way into the clearing now, we saw Cade Cunningham in the clearing, took off, and he's not coming down anytime soon. I do believe one or two of these young players are going to do that, and that's going to be what helps to bolster this team. And a lot of it is because Trajan Langdon, JB Bickerstaff, they've been able to come in and put the right pieces, the right, front office together, the right coaching staff, the right development staff. You talk about unorthodox, they hired Fred Vincent before they hired a coach. Similar to like the Lions going out there and hiring a head coach before they hired the GM.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I like what's going on here. And when you talk about how just raw and authentic JB Bickerstaff is, and it's him, you can look back at his other stops and realize this is him. It's not necessarily him coming in and trying to bite Dan Campbell, but I'm telling you, it's gotten to the point where I'm like, yo, he gets me so authentically fired up that's just Black Campbell to me right now. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff. Like that's where I'm at. Like, but it's real. And he pays homage. He says, no, that grit. I tell my guys, don't be talking about you want the audience and the crowd and the support that the Lions do, and y'all don't have the grit that they do. Like, that type of stuff to me is like, well, he told those guys that? Like, golly. But it's real. And it's like, you're trying to teach these dudes to be men and not coddle them to be babies. And now they're in a position to where I do believe that they are going to be able to take that necessary step forward that necessary leap forward that we saw Franz and these other guys. Like, why are people kind of bullish on the Hawks? It's on their young players. Why can't we be bullish on the Pistons because of these young players too?
Yeah, it's a thing where, like, when I hear national guys talk about the Pistons, the first two players that come out of their mouth are Cade and Nassar, and rightfully so. Um, but I do think people are still kind of sleeping on the Pistons. Some people feel that maybe last year's run was fool's gold. I think they have a very good opportunity to shut a lot of people up this year. I really do.
Bro, when you look at the improvements they made defensively, in the room that they still have to grow in that department, when you look at the fact that Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, they led the entire league in alley-oop in pick and roll play. You look at just the leaps they made from a facilitation standpoint, pace of play. In Cade Cunningham, it's like, for how many years now, bro, have they been saying, we just want to get his usage down? That's never going to happen. And you know what's crazy? The higher the usage goes, the lower the turnover percentage is going. That's an interesting thing for Cade. So it's like, you know what? Cade is a guy that I do believe is stepping into, not just prime, but like prime opportunity. These other players and what they're going to have, the opportunities for like an Asar Thompson, the ability for Jalen Duren. You talked about him being more of a hub. I want to see that. I want to see what he has this offseason as it relates to his offense, like 10 feet and in. Is he somebody reliable? Because one thing the Pistons didn't have, other than, and shout out to Brandon Edwards and Matt Shepard, the first player they said, I said, guys, we have anybody on the squad who we can rely on with their back to the basket. Like, that's crazy. Like, do we? The first name they stated was Tobias Harris. And they think that that's the only player. I think sometimes Cade Cunningham. But other than that, like sometimes Isaiah Stewart. But do we have anybody else? Like, and I would love to be able to see Jalen Duren with that reliable 10-foot and in offense be something that's a part of his maturation over this offseason. I would love to see it.
I know he has it in there because I see it. I see it at shoot around before games. Like I know it's in there. My thinking is, like, a lot of times when we see a player in college and they kind of flash a little bit of potential, when they get to the NBA, it's not that the coaching staff doesn't want them to continue to work on it, but they want them to continue to develop a skill set until they feel they're 100% ready to kind of showcase it. Like, no doubt in my mind, Jalen Duren has a good 12, 15-foot jump shot in his arsenal. I think it's there. 100. I mean, he's working with the guard whisperer, who's a very good shooting coach right now. Same coach as Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, when he first came into the league, he wasn't shooting threes. He wasn't backing down people. That's a very good coach to work with. So JD is getting reps with Evan Mobley, working out with Evan Mobley. And what better big to work with than just one defensive player of the year? Like, I think sometimes Pistons fans don't realize, like, a lot of these guys are, posting their workout videos, but you don't really connect who their trainers are, who their clientele is, and who they're actually going up against during the offseason in the summer. Yeah, like, I know Jalen Duren's already working on his mid-range jump shot. Like, I had conversations with the guard whisperer about it. It's like, yeah, we're working on it every day. We're getting threes up, we're doing mid-range, working on the free throws, working on everything. So I know all these guys are working hard during the offseason.
Especially in the practices and such too, just to back that up. Like, yes, like in the practices for the last few years, being in there, seeing the shoot-arounds, the game day shoot-arounds, both at the Performance Center and then over at LCA, where you're able to see them. He's out there doing this stuff, and he's out there hitting it. The form looks good from three. We post them. I remember people used to get mad, like, oh my gosh, why is he working on threes? I'm like, guys, I don't think you understand. The portion of it that we saw are individual workouts, and that's like after 2 to 3 hours of them being in the gym with closed session. We're seeing like the last hour and a half. He's done a lot. He did post-ups. He's banging. He's like literally dunking on people, in the layup drill. He's dunking on his coaches. I'm like, bro, man, they're older than you. Like, chill. Like he's showing things in the practice that, sometimes it makes me want to get on the pod and talk reckless, bro. But you're right. I think you said something very, very key, and I hope people don't miss that. Sometimes coaches want to wait until the player is ready. I've known that. Like, I remember I look at just even on our small levels that we've played. Like, I play high school and college. Not until you were ready, a coach will put you on that Patrick Ewing energy. Like what? You work on that? You practice that? Who told you to take that shot? Like, what? You think you can take? It's like that. And so I do agree with that. Until he is like, that's in your wheelhouse, probably won't see it in the game, but he is working on it, and it does look good in the practices.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple 12 to 15-foot jump shots this year. I think so. Because I see him working on it so much, whether it's you, Eric, or any of the Pistons beat, they're always posting. Man. Yeah, they're always posting him working on those mid-range jump shots. Man, we just went down a rabbit hole, and I absolutely love it. I think that's what makes podcasting so much fun, because you never know what you're going to talk about. Like, I have 6 topics I think Pistons fans might want to like listen and talk about, but hey, man, organic conversations to me, I think always go the best. I wanted to get your perspective on